Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Man in America. I'm your host, Seth Holhouse, coming to you live. So, has the news become a three-ring circus spiraling out of control? So, we've got Biden's disinformation board gets paused. The View claims that the right is extreme while their view is centrist and reasonable. Twitter turns into a forum for wacky clips like Bush's Freudian slip, and Elon questioning who really is in control of the US. And I'm just getting started. Today, let's just have a good laugh at the clown world unfolding all around us. So, folks, if you haven't followed me on social media yet, head on over to Telegram and Truth Social. That's where you can follow me. That's where I'm most active. Also, make sure you're watching on Rumble, not YouTube or Facebook. Please go to Rumble to watch this show. Or, of course, Rise TV, because today's show is brought to you by Rise TV. Rise TV is the reason I can do Man in America full time. With big tech censorship and them removing the ability to make any kind of money, they've made it really tough for people like me that have a mission to tell you the truth. And that's why we built Rise TV. Folks, right now we are at war, and it's an information war. And Man in America is how I'm fighting. So over on Rise TV, we have a massive content library and an amazing community of patriots. So if you want to check it out, there is a link for a free trial in the description below. So come on, try it out. I think you'll end up staying. And folks, look, I believe we have some very shaky times ahead of us. And a lot of folks are looking for ways to protect their wealth. And I've always been one to recommend physical gold and silver. If you're looking into this, I am confident in recommending Noble Gold. You can buy gold and silver directly from them and have them ship it to you, or you can do an IRA transfer. So Noble Gold specializes in IRA transfers, which allow you to transfer your IRA into physical gold and silver that you will own with zero taxes or penalties. So if you want to learn more about this, open a new tab right now and go to goldwithseth.com. Or you can call 877-646-5347 to speak to someone right now here in America. Again, it's 877-646-5347 or goldwithseth.com. All right, folks, we are truly living in a clown world. No joke at all. Unfortunately, there's a lot to laugh about. But a lot of people you'd say on the left have become really disconnected from reality. And it's becoming almost comical. But the beautiful part about this all is that as we enter into more and more of clown world, more people are waking up and they're seeing through it and they're saying, wow, that doesn't make any sense. So today's show, I've just got a handful of really good things to show you today that show you how the narrative and the control that the left has over the mainstream media and people's minds is collapsing, but also to show you some positive things that are happening and some funny things that are happening, because I think that if you're like me, you could probably use a good laugh because there's been some pretty crappy news lately. It's like, well, there's going to be food shortages and the dollar might collapse and Biden's got a disinformation board. It's going to be hunting down patriots and oh my. So I'm going to go ahead and start by showing you a clip from The View, which just shows you how detached these people are from reality, where one of the hosts, I think her name's Sunny, is literally trying to make the point that the right is getting more and more extreme and the left is actually becoming more centrist. You can't make this stuff up. So let me go and pull this up because let's just start with a good laugh. So here we go. Check this out. This is Sunny Hostin. I guess that's what her name is on The View. Let's go ahead and watch this.
They are playing to the base. I mean, if you look at all the studies, the Republican Party has moved further to the right than Democrats have to the left. There's a Pew Research Center analysis that finds that on average, Democrats and Republicans are farther apart ideologically today than at any time in the past 50 years. And that ideological divide breaks down to the Republican Party being an extremist party and the Democratic Party actually, as you just mentioned, Sarah, moving more to the center.
But isn't the problem that is the primaries? Because you can't
Shut up, Joy. Man, so can you hear this? She's trying to say that the Democratic Party is actually moving to be more centrist. I don't know what poll she's looking at, but I don't know what world you live in where the Democratic Party, who a lot of these people, they want you to be able to kill babies like after they're born even, and they want to open the borders for immigration. They want mandatory jabs. Like it's just the whole thing is imploding. But the amazing thing about this, as I mentioned, is that so many people are fleeing and they're seeing through this now. And what's interesting, and this is just a funny study I got to show you, right? This is on the National Pulse right here. Let me make this a little bigger for you. So this is a study that recently came out, and I just thought this was hilarious. And I can tell you that in my own life, so look, I went to art school. I would have never considered myself a liberal. Just wasn't really how I was raised. But I definitely, and especially during art school in my college years, had more. I guess I tended to have some of the more liberal viewpoints, which is the college indoctrination, and thankfully I escaped that. But I can say that this is a story of me, that as your testosterone increases, that you tend to shift more conservative in your viewpoint. So this is an article from the National Pulse that I just thought was just worth bringing up and mentioning because it's just actually really funny. So here it is. Study: testosterone treatment turns Democrat voters more conservative. So as they've had these Democrat voters and that they've taken testosterone treatment, they've actually become more conservative. So maybe this is why people like Bill Gates or all these wackos, they want to be feeding people soy, which is going to increase estrogen. It's the whole thing. Like maybe it's just part of the whole plan, getting us away from eating, meat and the things that we need to eat. And especially if you're a man and you're active, which I am very active, whether I'm building garden beds or moving dirt or any number of tasks around the property, I need a lot of good meat and I need the testosterone to fuel me to do that. So I just think this is just absolutely hilarious. Let me go ahead and read this to you. So this is from Natalie Winters, excellent reporter over at National Pulse. So increased testosterone levels can cause Democrats to become more conservative in their political affiliation, a recent experiment analyzing voters in U.S. elections found. So the study, which is titled "Testosterone Administration Induces a Red Shift in Democrats," was published on November 14th, 2021 by Professor Paul Zak, the director for the Center for Neuroeconomics Studies at Claremont Graduate University. So, quote, his research made a substantial impact in explaining the variation in human social behaviors and has been cited by other scholars over 18,000 times, placing it in the top 0.3% of all scholars. So his latest findings reveal a link between testosterone levels and political preference through analyzing 136 voting-aged males through the 2012 election season. So, quote, our results demonstrate that testosterone induces a red shift among weakly affiliated Democrats. So maybe this is the solution. And again, if you look at Antifa, you look at all these soy boys, that these guys they're skinny. It looks like you'd smack them and they fall over. My guess is that like they're on the other extreme end, whereas they're probably very low in testosterone, very high in estrogen. Versus you go to the far end of the right side, you've got these manly, burly cowboys that are just oozing testosterone that are, they're going to fight to the death to defend their rights. These people are the pro-Second Amendment, pro-Constitution folks. And I have to say that, I am much happier being on that side of the fence. I'm much happier standing up for what I believe is right, standing up for the values I think that men all across America should be standing up for, which is hence why my show is called Man in America, because that's what I am. I'm not a she, he, they, him, her, X, Y, Z, whatever. I am a man in America. I'm a testosterone breathing, exuding man in America. So anyway, I just thought that was a fun study to show you. Whereas you have, and let's go back to clown world, on the other side of things, you have people that are just going completely bonkers. So I want to show you this small video clip. And this is when there is, I think it was a congressional hearing about abortion where Bishop, this guy named Mr. Bishop, is interviewing he's just discussing with I think she's a Democrat witness is what she is. She's testifying on behalf of abortion. But let me just show you this. Let me show you the insanity. And folks, as the Roe versus Wade really reemerges, and I want to just give you not really a warning, but I just want to talk about what I think is coming in society. So we've got obviously we have Roe v. Wade that is now hitting the forefront, which I think is fantastic, right? Which is, I would love to see that overturned and have people not even be given the option to, to kill innocent lives. So, but as we see this coming to the surface, what we're going to see happen even further in America is a polarization, right? This isn't like what things were like, say, 10 years ago, where, it was very common to say have some of those, moderate, a moderate left, moderate right, more, you couldn't really tell. Everything is becoming so divided. And I think in a lot of ways, it's representative of where we're at in history. I really believe that humanity is at a place where we are being separated. The wheat is being separated from the chaff, right? This is where I think things are going. And what's happening with this is that there's not really a middle ground anymore. And this is what the left wants to do. They want to make things so divided. It's like you're either with us or you're against us. But the problem is that, say, 10 or 15 years ago, while they're saying, okay, well, if you're with us, maybe you're for, more women's rights, or maybe it was a more feminist movement, or it was more racially motivated, or whatever it was. But now the division has become so stark that by them saying with us, it's you're with us on like very extreme measures, like full term abortion being one of them. I'm not even going to talk about the whole trans movement, which is I believe that whole movement is really about grooming children, and it's really about eventually bringing in pedophilia into society. If you look at the teachers, the sexualization of children, that's a whole other episode. But what's happening though is that as the party on the left becomes more and more extreme, I've seen this too. People that I know are detaching themselves from it, and even people that may have hated Trump and whatever, they're now seeing the truth. They're really seeing this, and this is what I mean. Perhaps you could thank Joe Biden for this because he's really uniting people against him. But let me just go and show you this video, because this is just absurd. This is the insanity that we are dealing with here. So check this out.
R&B Day? Okay. What do you say a woman is?
I believe that everyone can identify for themselves.
Okay. Do you believe then that men can become pregnant and have abortions?
Yes.
His expression, his response. Do you believe that men can become pregnant and have abortions? Yes. His response. I mean, it's folks, this is a clown world. We are living in a clown world. But I tell you what, though, it's great to not be one of the clowns. It's great to see through this stuff and to realize it's just getting more and more insane. But actually, fundamentally, though, what I believe is happening is that this is God giving us a chance. This is, because look, Satan on this earth and the evil that's come into this earth and really ruled it for a very long time. Satan, the evil has been able to exist, and it's been able to have its power through hiding, through being hidden in the shadows. That's where its strength has come from. But now it's all being drug out into the open, and it's being weakened in that process. But also, people that were deceived by the evil, say 5 years, 10 years ago, and had maybe bought along and they've bought into the ideology, they're now being given an opportunity to see it. It's now like, if you look at that video I just showed you, and that was just the beginning of it. I mean, there's the interview process, the questions and answers were just completely absurd. And I've seen multiple different hearings like that where they're saying that, babies should basically be able to be, killed up until birth, like even in the birth canal, right? So, but the key though with this, the key is that good and evil are revealing themselves. And there's a lot of people that are actually, I believe, good people. They're good people, but they got sold. They got bought into the lie. And this is also really, really important. This is really important because I know for a lot of you watching, and we've talked about this in the Q&As and the different live shows, a lot of you are really trying to wake up your friends and family. Many of you have, say it's your mother or your aunt or your best friend that has been completely consumed by the propaganda and the lies of the mainstream media, and you're trying. But it's really, really important for us to really have compassion in that process, because the people that have been deceived, well, they've been deceived by these very professional masters of deception, for one thing. Make sure you always consider that. But they're still being given a chance. And as this all gets more and more insane, your role, I'm talking to you, your role in helping your friends and family to wake up and see through the lies and see that, hey, you know what? This is actually communism. This is communism entering into our country. This is evil. This is Satanism. This is leading to, the destruction of innocence in our society. If you're able to have these conversations with them and keep up, I know it's difficult, and you get yelled at and you get mocked, you get banned, you get kicked off of Facebook, your friends unfriend you, etc. But just keep up with it, because the truth is really cracking through. Like, that's what's happening right now. So just wanted to make that point. So anyway, on to what's happening, with Resident Joe in the White House. I hope that you enjoyed. Actually, I'll show you. I pulled up again. I hope you really enjoyed my thumbnail for today. I'll tell you what, I had a lot of fun with that. And, I'm not someone that likes to pick on people, but this has become a clown world. This is what's really happening. And Biden is just at the head of it. I really believe he's just a puppet for other people, but he's really, like, say a year ago, you couldn't say it as much, that he's actively destroying our country, but now it really is the case. But I felt pretty proud, because I put this together last night and this morning, and then I saw the cover for I think it's a New York Post today. Let me pull this up. And I feel like that we were right on the same page with this. So while I was choosing Clown World, the New York Post had gone with Joe's train wreck. So here you say, gas prices hit a brutal $6 a gallon. Border crisis gets worse. Ministry of Truth collapses. Market drops 1,100 points. It's the worst day in 2 years. And baby formula disaster. And this is the thing, folks, is that right now, this is the best time. We talk a lot about the Great Awakening. Now is the time. Now is the time that even people that have been deeply asleep, they're kind of waking, and they feel something sniffing at their neck, and they wake up and it's Joe Biden. So now is the time, though, that we can really awaken people and help them see through just the reality of what is going on. So I just thought I would just show you that, because I was quite proud of myself. So speaking of Joe Biden, though, the big thing is that his whole disinformation board has been paused, or whatever you want to call it. And for this, I found this great article on this really reputable news site called the Babylon Bee, which I want to read to you. So here you go. Disinformation board narrowly outlasts CNN Plus. You gotta love Babylon Bee. So in its first big win since inauguration in 2021, the Biden administration announced that the Disinformation Board has narrowly outlasted failed subscription program CNN Plus. Now, I'm hoping that all of you that are watching realize that Babylon Bee is a satire site. I know in the past I've read Babylon Bee articles before on my show, and there have been people in the comments like, "Wait, did that really happen?" It's like, no, this is a little bit of satire. So, but they did shut down, or at least pause, their Disinformation Board, which I'm going to talk about in a second, because that's a huge win. So, citing the first bit of positive news for the White House, Disinformation Board head Nina Jackowicz announced her resignation, saying she was excited to continue fighting disinformation on TikTok by singing more lovely show tunes. So anyway, I'm not going to go in and finish reading that article there, but folks, this is a really big deal, actually. So maybe you haven't been following, but this happened is oddly timed around Elon Musk and him making his bid to purchase Twitter, that the Department of Homeland Security has come out and they said that they created this board to counteract disinformation, right? And this is something that was straight out of 1984, the Ministry of Truth. I mean, it's really, whenever you have a government that creates a special segment, a special branch of its government to monitor the disinformation from the citizens, to control the narrative from the governmental level, like, folks, that is a slippery slope. And you might wake up, 3 weeks later and it's communist China, right? It's frightening. So, but what's interesting is that they blame people like Jack Sobiek and these different online publications for basically calling them out. And this is a great example of the power of the people. This is a great example. Think about the CCP. Do you think that the CCP rolls out some sort of new ministry of propaganda, that the people have any chance of canceling that ministry of propaganda or having them withdraw the actions? There's no way. And in fact, if people end up, kind of standing up against it, they probably would just be disappeared, right? Like someone with evidence on the Clintons, perhaps. It's just gone, right? But we, the people, and the media organizations, people on social media, there was so much backlash against the disinformation board under Biden that they've stopped it. And that is a huge, huge win. And this should, look, I know that if you're watching me, you're following me, you're probably thinking similar things I'm thinking. And it's frightening because we see our country slipping into tyranny. We see our country slipping away. We see just, whether it's, you want to call it tyranny or fascism, the merger of the corporatocracy with the federal government and Biden, it's frightening. So when we have these wins like this, where you can see that the people really do still have power, folks, that should encourage you. It should encourage you to keep fighting, keep standing up against this crap, because honestly, I'm not even going to get into the Second Amendment and how armed to the teeth the American people are. That's a whole other story. But we still have a lot of good people in Congress, in the government, that are fighting for us. We have a lot of amazing things happening. Actually, I'm going to pull something up just to highlight this. Actually, the power of we the people and the power of the Constitution and our voting system. So I wanted to pull up here. This is an article on the Epoch Times, and this is about how it's basically, so we have the primary candidates, we have the primaries happening right now, and how there has been a near sweep for Trump's primary candidates. Now, I'm not going to go heavy into the article here, but the point that I'm making is that Trump still has his power as a kingmaker. And what he's doing is that he is selecting candidates that are America first. Now, Dr. Oz, I have no idea where that came from, or where, and look, if I was in Pennsylvania, I would not vote for Dr. Oz, which is good. Look, it's good that we don't just blindly follow whatever Trump says and wants us to do, right? That's actually very good, because we think independently. We hold him responsible, right? Like, we elect him. So again, that's a very important point, that we don't just follow blindly. But the good news here, though, is that even though the GOP and the Mitch McConnells and all these swamp creatures, even though they want to try to take control and they want to keep their rhinos in power, Trump is going through and wrecking shop on their plans. And Trump is very proactive about endorsing America First candidates and getting these America First candidates in, because this is exactly what we need, right? We've had, even on the Republican side, we've had China First candidates for so long now, candidates that are not looking out for America. So the fact that Trump is still playing this role as a kingmaker, I thought this was just a piece of good news that was really worth sharing with you, because I still believe that Trump is fighting hard for America and fighting hard for our freedoms. And this is a big way that he is. So I just wanted to share that with you. So anyway, so back to Biden, back to the resident in the White House. What's also interesting is that Elon Musk has been coming out and saying some very good things. And I know that you probably watched one or two of the shows I did on Elon Musk. I still have my reservations, but there's a lot of stuff that he's doing that's really impressing me. And one thing that he's come out and talked about is whether Biden is actually the president or not. So check out this article. This is over on the Epoch Times, and check this out here. Elon Musk's this is a Jack Phillips article. Elon Musk suggests Biden isn't the real president. So this is interesting. So billionaire Elon Musk took a shot at President Joe Biden on Monday and questioned whether he is actually in charge. So during a podcast interview, Musk, the head of Tesla, said that he has voted overwhelmingly for Democrats in the past, but criticized the current administration and Democratic Party over their policies. He says, quote, "The real president is whoever controls the teleprompter," Musk said of Biden. "The path to power is the path to the teleprompter," which makes you see. I mean, does Barack control the teleprompter? Is it Michael? I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure who's controlling the teleprompter, but it certainly isn't Joe Biden. He's just reading whatever goes on there. And Elon goes on to make a funny joke here. He's saying if somebody were to accidentally lean on the teleprompter, it's going to be like Anchorman, right? Where he was joking, referring to the 2004 movie where Will Ferrell had his character Ron Burgundy, who reads whatever is written on the teleprompter, even to the point of insulting his audience. And Elon continued and said, this administration doesn't seem to get a lot done. Well, it's true. I mean, well, maybe they don't get a lot of productive things done. They're sure as heck doing a great job of destroying things and making sure we've got no baby food and making sure that the gas prices are really high, making sure the inflation is through the roof. And they're doing a great job if we're grading them on their ability to destroy the country as quickly as possible. So anyway, I thought I would share that with you. But also something really funny that's emerged, though, in talking about Biden's legitimacy and Twitter, and Elon Musk, so I'm not sure if you saw this, but there's a company that did an audit on Twitter followers, and they showed that Biden had one of the highest percentages of fake followers of any accounts. This is kind of crazy, actually. And this says a lot. This is the guy that got the most votes in history, yet half of his Twitter followers are fake. I bet a good portion of them are actually dead. They're probably dead Twitter followers, the same people that probably voted. So anyway, so here's a Newsmax article. Audit shows nearly half of Biden's Twitter followers are bots. All right, so a tool created by software company SparkToro that distinguishes real accounts from fake accounts known as spam bots or bots, found that almost half of President Joe Biden's 22.2 million Twitter followers were not real, Newsweek reported on Tuesday. So the audit conducted by SparkToro's tool found that 49.3% of those following the official POTUS Twitter account are bots based on an analysis of location issues, default profile images, date of creation, and more. The company's tool also found that Biden's account has more fake followers than most. So this is a really, really big deal. This is a really big deal. Look at that. Anyway, yeah. So, and the reason, well, it's a big deal for a handful of reasons. One is that Twitter is, in the process of being sold to Elon Musk, and Elon Musk is really starting to raise his eyebrows about the amount of fake bots on Twitter, right? Well, I think that the Twitter, they've said it's somewhere around 5% or less than 5%, where Elon is coming out and saying, look, it could be as many as 50%. So this is significant because the value of a tech company is built upon the amount of users it has. And so if upwards of half of those users are fake, then your value is significantly lower. But also, this is a really important point, is that they're trying to use these psychological things to make us feel like we're weaker than we are and to make themselves feel stronger than they are. You see, whether it's Biden or all these politicians, the mainstream media, big tech, they're like the Wizard of Oz. They're like these frail old men that probably wear diapers sitting behind some curtain wanting you to think that they're big and scary and powerful and frightening, but they're actually weak old people. And that's the truth. Like the people that we're up against, I know that it's frightening and we think about the cabal or the deep state, but so many of them are just weak old men. Like, look at Soros, look at Bill Gates. Talk about, estrogen and testosterone and how you vote and how you align yourself. The guy looks like he's pregnant now. So it's like, these are the people that we're up against. They want us to think that they're really big and powerful and in control, Klaus Schwab, et cetera. But actually they're really weak people, and they're so scared of us. They are so scared of us, and they're especially scared of the Americans because we have revolution in our blood. We have it in our founding documents to throw off tyranny. So I really hope that more Americans can get in line with that and really take a stand for our rights, because they're definitely being encroached upon. But the people that are doing the encroaching are absolutely frightened. So, all right, let me see what else I've got for you here today, folks. So one thing is that as we're kind of touching on the whole Twitter thing, I've got a video here to show you. This is from Project Veritas, which is absolutely hilarious. And James O'Keefe is such a ham. He's such a funny guy. So they found one of the high up Twitter employees. He's at a restaurant in New York City. It's about a 2-minute long video, but this is going to make you smile. So just check this out. You're going to like this.
Out for a jog on the streets of New York with Twitter brass. Hi, Alex.
Hi.
I'm James O'Keefe with Project Veritas.
Oh my God.
You are on hidden camera.
Okay.
Talking about Elon Musk. Why is it funny?
Well, no, I'm just like, you're literally just trying to like capture me in the middle of my own dinner.
Yes. Quote, you're special needs. You're literally special needs. I don't even take what you're saying seriously because you're special needs.
That's not true. I'm like, you're special needs. You're literally special needs. Asked by people that are coming on camera.
We're journalists, and I know that you don't believe in the First Amendment.
I'm gonna just finish my dinner. So.
Your dinner's over there.
I love Elon Musk.
Love Elon Musk. If you look through the glass, he's sitting over there, avoiding us. So this is you on video.
I'm like, yeah, thank you. I
Look
mean,
at you
seriously,
on
that was
video.
inside to try to relax.
James, come on.
Get the out of here.
Excuse me? Excuse me? Why are you cursing at me?
People are trying to have a...
They're hugging him. Oh, there he is. There he goes. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, okay, I'm never accepting you.
Hi, I want to take a jog. But why are you running? You're literally disclosing an email.
I didn't.
It says right here's the email. I can read. Team groups like Project Veritas are active right now. Right? Excuse me, sir. What is Elon Musk going to do when he sees this?
I don't know.
I'm on the street in New York City.
How do you run in here? Maybe he's gonna go on stage.
You tell me.
Stand up. You could do that, Jerry. Yeah, that would be good if you go on stage.
About to go on stage with a videotape of this Twitter executive and confront him. Here we go. Oh, there he is. He's turned around. There you are, mocking the special needs.
I would like to talk to you.
Well, you have already talked to us, sir. You are mocking Elon Musk's Asperger's condition. What is Twitter's ideology? The Twitter executive is walking into traffic. He's going back and forth, zigzagging like he's got into a cab. That was crazy.
That was great.
There's just something about that. What I think it is. I think that for so long we just haven't had any justice. We want so much to turn the TV on and be like, Durham arresting Hillary Clinton, and she's in handcuffs being led away. It's like we just want some justice. Like we've just been really pissed on and spat on for so long that it feels nice, especially when you have these Twitter people. Which this guy was caught on camera mocking Elon Musk, who for his Asperger's, which is something that he deals with, right? And so these people that are so inclusive and woke and everything, he got caught on camera mocking Elon Musk. And so I love seeing this justice being served as the truth comes out. And that's the cool thing, folks, is that the truth is absolutely coming out about this stuff. So, and speaking of the truth coming out, I've got a video that I'm going to play for you. I'll probably play it a couple of times because it's so funny of the truth coming out. So maybe if you're familiar with what's called a Freudian slip, right? It's where you're saying something and something slips. It's like the truth slips out, right? It's like, say, I ate a pint of ice cream and I was ashamed about it. And my wife says, Seth, what have you been doing? I'm like, well, I was just hanging out eating ice cream. They're like, well, I didn't mean to say that, right? So it's when the truth slips out. So check out this video here. You're going to love this. This is George Bush. I'm going to play this a couple of times. It's only 10 seconds long, but this is so good.
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine. The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine.
All right, let's do one more time.
The decision of one man to launch a wholly unjustified and brutal invasion of of Ukraine.
There you go. Right. Again, what's happening, folks, is that the people that are in charge, whatever you want to say, whether they're barely holding on to, they're losing control. Everything that we're doing to awaken people, to fight back against their agenda, to expose the New World Order, to expose the Great Reset, it's working. And these people are losing control. They're losing control of the narrative. And it's only going to get worse. And look, as we enter into the midterms, they can't pull the BLM card again. They've used it one too many times. So they're gonna try pulling the Roe versus Wade card, right? Because they need to have some reason to create so much disorder on the streets that they can convince people to go vote people in that are going to fix a disorder, right? That's what they do. They create all the riots for BLM and they say, hey, you have to, this is all Trump's fault. So you have to bring in a president that's going to fix everything. Well, we saw that he didn't fix it all, but they're losing. They're absolutely losing control of the narrative. That's what's happening. So this is positive, folks. I know that, next week, I'll probably be diving back into the food shortages or the collapse of the dollar or prepping or a number of those things. Or I'll be talking about the World Health Organization, the WHO, and the basically signing over the rights of America, which I see a handful of you have asked about that. Look, I did an interview, I think it was last week, with James Roguski. So just look through my previous videos. You'll see it's got Tedros, the guy from the WHO, and it says WHO power grab. I've seen people that are saying, hey, no one's talking about this. Like, look, I did a whole hour and a half long interview specifically about what's happening with the World Health Organization. So there are some really frightening things happening. And look, I don't want to ignore those things. I don't want to bury our head in the sand. I don't want to just be like, it's all going to be okay, right? Because we do have some tough times ahead of us. That's the truth. And that's okay, right? Because tough times forge strong people, right? That's the thing, is that tough times will forge strong people. And that's what we need. Our country needs strong men and strong women, right? That's what our country needs. None of this mixed stuff, this trans stuff. That's what leads to the death of a nation, is when this stuff starts really seeping in too much. And this is frightening because that's what's happening. But we have to stand strong together. We have to prepare. We have to learn to grow our own food. We have to build community, get to know your local farmers, become resilient, and we will get through this, folks. So today is not going to be too long of an extra show. There's not going to be the Q&A portion. To be honest, I'm still actually recovering. My family and I, we all got really, really sick. Whether you want to call it some strand of COVID or whatever it was, but it was brutal. You're talking like hallucinating at night and a fever and just wretched feelings. So I'm still kind of working on recovering. So I didn't really feel like doing an hour and a half, 2 hour long show today. So I hope that was a great show for you. If you want to support what I'm doing, the number one way is to become part of Rise TV. It is an amazing streaming platform. Actually, I'm going to pull it up for you, folks. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go ahead and just before I go, I'm going to show you Rise TV because it is an incredible platform. Look at that guy. Look at that guy right there. All right, that's me, right? So anyway, so it's www.rise.tv. It is a streaming platform. We've got so much great content. We've got documentaries, interviews. We have amazing live shows, everything on there. So I encourage you to check it out. And if you want to go try it, there is a link to the a free trial in the description below. So I highly recommend that. And just another reminder is that if you are looking for ways to protect your wealth and your assets, again, I do highly recommend gold and silver in general. And look, if you have a good person to go to that you can buy gold or silver or that can do IRA transfers, great. Look, I'm not just saying only go through Noble Gold. It's something I really do believe in general, with where the stock market's at, with where I think the dollar is getting ready to lose its reserve status. There's just some crazy stuff happening. So, and that's just what I personally do. I've had companies that have come to me and that they want to pay me a lot of money to promote Bitcoin and to push cryptocurrency. It's not something I believe in. It's not something I believe in. So I will only recommend to you something that I truly believe in myself. So, all right, folks. Well, thank you all so very, very much for joining me today. I hope this is a fun show for you. If you want to help out, you can also just share the video, especially Rumble. Make sure that if you're not watching on Rumble, head over to Rumble, watch the video there, subscribe to my Rumble channel there. And if you want to share the video, I would love you for that. Because hopefully today was a good one. Hopefully you had lots of smiles and laughs, because I think that's exactly what we need right now. We need some smiles and some laughs. So, all right, folks, I will see you all tomorrow night on Rise TV for Friday Night Live, FNL. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be back again for the Man in America show next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. And tonight, at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, the Edge of Wonder guys, Ben and Rob, Edge of Wonder, they have a live show. It'll be on Rumble and on Rise TV, and they're going to be talking about the recent UFO disclosure stuff. So that's their gig. That's not really my shtick. So, all right, folks, thank you so much. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. If I was with you in person, I'd give you a big hug, and I'd probably get you sick. So, all right, thank you, everybody. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. And until next time, take care.